Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 1999 Nissan Stagea RS4S. Up front is a 2.5 liter turbocharged inline 6 and down below is a 5-speed manual transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this Nissan Stagea because my favorite cars that I've reviewed here on the channel, some of my favorite cars to say the least, have been Nissan Skylines in the past. Well, this is a lot Skyline. It shares an engine with the Skyline. It shares a basic platform with the Skyline, although the suspension is different. This is more S13, S14 style suspension as opposed to the Skyline. However, Nissan is all kind of mix and match. So in layman's terms, this is a Wagon Skyline. So I have a pretty good idea that I might like this. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And huge thank you to Nomad Imports here in Flint, Michigan, for letting me borrow their Nissan Stagea for today's video. Please go check out their inventory. They have tons and tons and tons of really cool vehicles on the lot at all times. One of them that I got to pick out today. But let's get back to that 2.5 liter turbo, better known as the RB25 DET Neo. So the Neo is the newer generation of RB25. It came in the later 90s. It has like emission stuff to it and whatnot, but it is still an RB25, which is a part of the RB family. All Skylines in the 90s got RBs, so we had the RB20, which was a 2-liter, RB25, and of course the RB26. There's also an RB30 that was put in like the Nissan Patrols, but was never put into a Skyline from the factory. This is of course also the turbo model, which there was a standard naturally aspirated Nissan Stagea as well, but we get to play with the boost today. Like I said, paired to it is a 5-speed manual transmission. Absolutely love the manual. It feels wonderful. I am a big fan of it. And last but not least, the Stagea is all-wheel drive. That's what the 4 means in the name, but oh yeah. It's not very shouty, it's not very braggy, but it's fun, man. It delivers a great amount of power and just, it drives like a Skyline, which is some of my favorite driving cars ever, because they feel so sorted and they have a really healthy amount of power where they're not gonna make you upchuck your lunch, but they're gonna add some flair and pizzazz to your drive. And that's how the Stagea feels. So how does it feel to drive? It's great. It's so good to drive. It feels like an old friend. It feels like I'm having a conversation with a childhood bestie. It does exactly what I want it to do. When I'm ready to shift, it's right there. It's happy. And so driving these cars, I don't know what it is. It's like having a second skin to me. And maybe that's just Skylines speak to me at some primitive level, but I'm not mad about it today. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 simple gauges. Off to the left is my fuel and speedometer, and off to the right is my tachometer and coolant temperature. The steering wheel just has the horn buttons on it, and it does have an airbag. I'm not used to driving old Japanese cars with airbags, but here we are. Off to the right, we do have a climate control vent, headlight levelers, and a little cubby. And moving on to the door, we have our power mirrors, power locks, and power windows. Moving into the center, we do have a little digital clock up at the top, as well as our Stagea badge with the hazard switch and climate control vents. This also has the GTR package, so it has 3 gauges for front torque, battery voltage, and boost pressure. Kind of odd metrics there. Down below that, we do have our climate controls, little digital readout here. Absolutely love the look of that. And it does feel semi-modern, at least more modern than 99. And we have an aftermarket radio, which is pretty funny to see. And it is a Japanese aftermarket radio, so it actually is geographically correct. We do have cup holders in the center, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test. It fails, of course, but at least it has something to try. Then we do get a center console and the seats. The seats are very relaxed. They're very comfortable. They're not overly sporty where they're trying to keep you in the seats with these harsh sides. This was a family vehicle in Japan at the time, and so it reflects that, at least in the seats. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats. So let's go to a backseat review. So we're in the back of the Nissan Stagia, and as you just saw live, I just discovered that you can recline the back seats. So make them like that. In the back here, the Nissan Skyline always had the most comfy back seats in terms of actual plushness for 90s Japanese cars, and that carries on here with the Stagia. They're very, very soft, very plush. However, the space isn't great. I wish that I had more leg room. My knees are hitting the seat in front of me. We do get a dome light, which is pretty nice. But other than that, nothing too crazy. Get an ashtray. Simple things like that. Power windows, which wasn't always a guarantee in the 90s, so nice to see that. However, let's hop into the very back, because not only do we have the rear cargo space to talk about because it's a wagon, but we have some really cool goodies that go along with it. So let's hop back there. All right, around the back of the Nissan Stagia, little handle back here and pull it up. And we do get the rear cargo space. So right off the bat, up here we have a little doggy door. Basically what this is, or cargo net. Basically, you can swing it down like that. Very, very popular in Europe to have something like that. I haven't really seen many from Japan, but then again, I'm trying to think if I've actually reviewed any wagons from the Japanese domestic market. This might be the first one. Off the top of my head, I can't think of it. Oh, you know what? I totally reviewed a twin-turbo Subaru Legacy from Japan, although it didn't have this rear net. So I guess we're 1-1. So very, very cool to see that net. Kind of annoying to put back up. We also do have this factory privacy cover we can retract, and there is all the open space in the back of the Nissan Stagia. Absolutely love that. Push this down, pull this up. We do have our spare tire and whatnot down below there. There we go. Keep it like that. Very, very cool. Oh, these handles are actually to lower the second row. Very cool. Look at that. Oh, so much space. And you have all this space, all this great usable space for moving in and out of your apartment or college or out of your parents' house, whatever it might be. And then you also have an RB25 turbo with all-wheel drive and a 5-speed manual. What a beautiful combination. Tell me something that this car can't do. Tell me something this car can't do. I'm waiting. Absolutely awesome. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I really love the look of the Stagia. This does have a dolphin kit on it, so the bumpers are a little bit different, not completely factory there, but pretty much everything else is. And it is interesting, you do see notes or hints or resemblance to Nissan Skylines, but then again, it's a wagon. It looks definitely different, but wagons have always stolen my heart, and so I get to drive one here today. This is the best of both worlds, not only visually, but mechanically. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving a Nissan Stagia RS4S? Well, the fact that this car even exists is absolutely awesome. As I've mentioned earlier, the R33 and R34 Skylines are some of the best cars I've ever driven. The R32 as well, but I do think that the R33 and R34 are better. My point being, I love them so much, and I love wagons, that this is just truly a match made in heaven. I mean, I get to put the family dog in the back and rip all-wheel drive pulls up and down the boulevard. I mean, what was Japan thinking? Obviously, they were thinking incredibly clearly. Someone over at Nissan, when designing the Stagia, said, hey, should we make the perfect car? And Nissan, under hush breath, all right, yeah, let's do it. And then they popped out the Stagia. They said, hello, world. Actually, not hello, world. Hello, just our home market that we keep reserved and will never share with anyone else. So I guess at the end of the day, f*** you, Nissan, for keeping this all to yourself. F*** you, Nissan, for robbing the world of this beautiful automobile. Why didn't we get this here in the States? We would have loved it. I love it. It's so good, and it's not like an offensive daily, and it's not hard to drive. Look, at a stop sign, first gear, let out the clutch, find that grip point. There we go. Second gear. Nice and normal. It's a station wagon. It's a mom car. I'm going to soccer practice. But then we can get to soccer practice a little bit quicker. That's what makes it so good. It's the duality of the Stagia. You need to take your grandma out to brunch? go ahead, do it. This is fun to drive. It's presentable. It's adultly. I don't feel like a kid racer. I don't feel like I'm trying to peel a page out of the script of Fast and Furious. I don't live my life a quarter mile at a time. I live my life in between blow-off valves, and I'm happy that way. I'm very happy that way. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Nomad Imports here in Flint, Michigan for letting me take out this Nissan Stagia. This is just one of the best cars to ever exist on the planet. This is one of their inventory, as well as they have tons of cool and interesting cars all the time. They are wonderful. I appreciate them very, very much. Please go check their stuff out. And if you're looking to import a car, Nomad Imports are the people to do it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.